Good afternoon. Welcome to our recent ERP Essentials webinar series. Today's topic is open enrollment tips, reminders and tips for a successful open enrollment session. Our presenter today will be Cami Lawrence. Just a couple of quick things about Apex Systems. We are a leading global technology service business that incorporates industry insights and experience to deliver solutions that fulfill our clients' digital visions. Our Infor experts not only ensure seamless implementations, but also provide ongoing optimizations to enhance your business operations. Apex has a global presence in over 70 locations across the US, Canada, Mexico, the UK, Europe, and India. Today's presenter, as I said, is Cami Lawrence, and I'll let her introduce herself and go through the agenda and the rest of the presentation. Thank you very much. If you have any questions during this, feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll see you at the end of it. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you're calling from. My name is Cami Lawrence, and I'm the Infor HCM Practice Manager. And I just wanted to share some tips and tricks. We're not going to go into the application, but just some ideas and thoughts around how to make your open enrollment season more productive and maybe less stressful. So the agenda today, we're going to talk about updating benefit plans and premiums, simplifying the enrollment process, the ACA standard measurement job, managing open enrollment records, and the employee experience. And then we'll have a question and answer session. Obviously, the first step in any open enrollment season is to negotiate vendor changes in rates. This may be with a broker or with individual vendors. The second thing you would do is to create or update any missing benefit plans. So if you're adding benefit plans, you would add those. If you have updates to make to those benefit plans, start with the smallest piece of that. So those would be, I would say, start with the building blocks. So look at your custom groups, look at your rate tables. And if those need to be built, you'll need to build those first before creating your benefit plan. So start at the basic level, okay? Use copy to make your updates easier. If you have a custom group that is similar to one that you want to create, copy it. If you have a rate table that is similar to one that you need to create, copy it. There are some things you're not going to be able to copy. Those include if you're changing the structure of your rate table or you're changing kind of the values that determine the rates. Frequently, you'll have to recreate those manually, but when at all possible, use copy to make your updates easier. If you're updating a benefit plan, especially in the contributions tab, I always copy the contribution tab from the previous year and then make the updates to the new contribution. Okay. Make sure your rate tables and contribution tables are updated. So if you have any rate tables or contribution tables that change from year to year, always go through and validate that prior to opening up your open enrollment. And then make sure that all of your updates, including any maintenance updates, any maintenance that needs to be done on your employee benefits, make sure those are all completed before creating your enrollment records. Once your enrollment records are created, the updates won't flow to the enrollment record. Okay. All right. These are a few of the benefit system jobs that we suggest that if you don't run them on a scheduled basis, that you run them prior to open enrollment. Most people run the employee enrollment updates, which syncs benefit changes from the employee to the benefit election. Okay. Mass create eligibility creates missing eligibility records. So especially for those like new hires or anything like that, that would you wouldn't have an eligibility record for, it'll create those. And then mass enroll in default plans. This will auto enroll your employees that are eligible into your default plans, and you'll want those done prior to open enrollment. And most importantly, review and correct all of the errors that are created by these benefit jobs prior to launching your open enrollment. Okay. Once you create your open enrollment, it's like you've said, this is it, this is good, we're ready to go. So changes don't roll to your open enrollment after it's been launched, after you've created an enrollment record for someone. Okay. Creating enrollment events. So when you're creating enrollment events, review your enrollment groups, make sure that your organizational rules still apply. I personally copy previous year's event and then make any changes that I need to make to my enrollment groups or plans or anything like that. Okay. Define your open enrollment dates and periods. And you may have different enrollments for different groups of employees, and that's okay. Make sure they're all correct. Configure enrollment rules for guidance and customize the experience by employee group. Okay. Your enrollment event rules, configure cost display. These are some of the options that you'll have. Pre-select options for passive enrollment. Customize any templates and employee messaging. So if you have templates or messaging on your enrollment, make sure that those are still applicable to this year's enrollment or make any changes to customize those. Review your videos, links, and instructions. Make sure that your videos are still relevant. Your links aren't broken from the previous year, and any instructions are still relevant. Okay. And allow name, address, and dependent updates. Okay. Your email automation. Set up notifications for your event creation, submission, and finalization. Customize templates by employee type. So if you've got different groups of people, make sure that your templates are customized by those employee types so that the information that they receive through email is related to their experience or their enrollment. Automate reminders for pending enrollments. We don't want people missing out on the enrollment period. Prior to creating your enrollment and assigning your enrollment to employees, run the ACA standard measurement job if you're using ACA in N4. Adjust time periods for stability measurement, so make sure that you're looking at that correct time period. Ensure accurate hour imports for eligibility. So if you're importing data from another system for your hours, make sure that the information is correct so that it'll give you the correct information. And identify employees eligible for coverage. Okay. What that process does, it reevaluates the eligibility. It identifies employees who became ineligible or terminated, auto inactivates or deletes open enrollment records, and it keeps your enrollment data accurate. Suggest that you test your enrollment event with a small group. Usually that's the HR group, so test with a small HR group before the mass creation. Have them respond back, have them test it out, have them test the links, make sure that the messaging is correct, make sure that you test all types of employees. So if you have an HR group that doesn't have hourly employees, or you have an HR group that doesn't have maybe an executive enrollment group, that you have an executive enrollment event, make sure that you test those as well. Make sure all of your groups are tested. And if you need to kind of loop in some extra help, maybe your HR executive could help with the executive testing. Maybe you've got a friend in IT that can help you with that group, or maybe someone on the clinical side if you've got, if you're in a hospital location, um, or someone from operations from just any other business type. So just make sure that you have all of those bases covered. Okay. After you've done your test of your small group and you're satisfied that it is exactly the way you want it to be, you can use your mass enrollment for the full employee rollout. Okay. Throughout the process, you will monitor the status via charts to see when employees have the event in draft started or submitted status. So draft means that they haven't touched it. Started means that they've done something, but they haven't submitted it. And submitted obviously is submitted. So it's gone through the process. Send reminders directly from the chart view. You can do that. I would suggest that you send them, depending on the length of your enrollment. But if your enrollment is a few weeks, at least send them weekly. People get busy, they forget. And then a few days before, and then the day of. Okay. The employee experience. The employees will access open enrollment via the employee space. They'll review the current benefits and dependent data. They can access updated guides and videos, and they complete their elections and submit consent. Just a reminder, when you're going through this, be in the head of that employee and how they're thinking. If you're in the HR department and maybe you understand maybe some of the more technical aspects of a benefit, but you feel like they need to be broken down to a layman verbiage so that, anyone who's not in HR might be able to understand as well. Think those through when you're thinking about the employee experience. Also remember that this is a very stressful time for employees. They are not in the business of HR, and they may have some stress around elections. They may also have some stress around using employee self-service if you have employees that aren't using it year round. So just keep that in mind. And you might even think about having office hours dedicated to helping employees with benefit enrollments, and have those posted so that the HR work can continue, simultaneously, but you have a specified time where you can say, hey, I understand you're having difficulty, but can you come during our office hours between 10 and 2 on Thursday, or whatever that is, right? And then help walk them through if you have that capability. I know that there are a lot of HR departments that run on the slim side, so you may not have the capability of helping all of your employees through the process, but I certainly recommend that option to enhance that experience for them and get them through that stressful period. The key takeaways: prepare early, review your benefit structures and data. Like I said, start with the smallest pieces of that, create your benefits, and then review the rates. Make sure that any rates that you have that are changing, any structures that are changing, any new government updates that have happened, that you're following those regulations. Test before a mass rollout. Test in small groups. And you may have more than one pilot group. Maybe you have a HR pilot group, and then maybe you do the operations pilot group, and then maybe you have the business group that you just roll out to everyone. But just a reminder, the more you test, the easier your life will be. If you assume that everything's working without testing it, you will run into problems. I promise you. Use automation and rules to simplify processes and keep your communication clear and employee friendly. Just a reminder, I always say this, that open enrollment is stressful, especially, it's stressful for our HR team, our benefits team, and it's stressful for our employees. So we want everything to be very clear. We want it to be a friendly experience for the employees. This is like the one time of year that we will always kind of have that contact with our employees, and we want that to be a good experience. So, on that note, you just want to make sure that you're keeping your email templates updated and clear with clear communication, and that you're able to help employees through this process in a timely and friendly manner. I added some KB links for those that are in the benefits groups. So and I don't know how many people use these on a regular basis, but I have them favorited so that when there's an update, I am also notified of any changes. So, and sometimes, you may have to mute those if you sign up for those updates, but I still have them favorited. That first one is the Master HR Talent Benefits Knowledge Base. And that's the knowledge base that has all benefit related KBs. It should list those. Okay. So it's just a listing of all the other knowledge base articles. The second is the KB article in for HR Talent Benefits Update for Affordable Care Act. And that's got everything related to the Affordable Care Act. And then this KB, Master KB for Common Errors in Benefits. I think that one is super helpful, especially since, our CUs tend to be released around benefits time. If there's any updates or errors or common errors among all groups, they'll be listed here. And so you'll be able to find them easily and say, okay, now we know why we're having that issue if you run into anything. Okay. And then there's another KB article, and this one is, you can see it's similar to the second article, but the second article is HR Infor Talent, and this one is HRM, which is S3. So if you've got questions for, around Affordable Care Act in S3, this is your article. And if you have questions related to the Affordable Care Act in HR Talent, this is your KB.